Bosses. Bosses, 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 bosses. What can I say that others haven't said before? They are the vital challenge to many adventurous games. And while there are a fair share of fights that flat out fail, many gamers alike have brought themselves to have their own list of bosses which they've personally enjoyed throughout the years of gaming. From the defeat methods being creative, unique use of the game's mechanics, enjoyable soundtrack, epic design, and just being plain awesome, in this final countdown of the year, I will conclude Season 1 of MJS Gaming with the 50 bosses I personally find to be the best I've experienced. And let me just say, I'm not the only one that will be talking about favourable battles. Other people will be joining me later down the line on the list. So without further ado, let's get... Actually no, you know what? You deserve a better opening.
Uh-oh.
Me. I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat?
The experiment may have the better boss technically, but this is easily the most memorable fight in the game. It's an opera singing pile of crap. Its song is easily one of the funniest moments in gaming history, singing about derogatory terms and caviar, and it throws pieces of itself at you. And to defeat it, you need to throw toilet paper in its mouth while it sings. How do you compete with that?
Now I'm really getting rather mad. You're like a niggly, tickly, shitty little tag nut. When I've knocked you out with all my bab, I'm going to take your head and ram it up my butt.
Your butt.
My butt.
Your butt.
That's right, my butt.
Ugh.
My butt. My butt!
What can I say about Fawful? He's an amazing villain. He's been in the franchise of Mario and Luigi since the beginning in Superstar Saga. I love him, you love him, he loves him, everybody loves him, everybody loves Fawful. Now I'm here to talk about a great boss fight in a game that he's in. I think you know where this is going. That's right, this audition is for Dark Fawful, and the fight is indeed pristine. Well, let's start with the character, Fawful of Chaos. He gets away with doing such lines as, "The mustard of your doom, I have fury," and so many more. His attacks include, but are not limited to, grabbing onto a light on the ceiling and swinging into you where you can punch him, healing by using his helmet, shooting formations of defense-lowering stars that you have to dodge, and flying up into the air, spawning dark portals, and throwing energy balls that you need to either defend against or punch, or they'll also lower your defense. Next up is that helmet of his. As long as he's wearing it, neither Bowser's Fire Breath or punches will work. Use a special attack to get it off of him, and then inhale it for the bros to fight. It will then proceed to inhale either the item blocks or the special attack blocks that they have, and grab either Mario or Luigi and swing him into the other. Hit him hard enough and he'll eventually spit out those blocks that he took from you, and you'll get him back. Once you've beaten him down enough, he'll turn into this big spider thing, and the fight shall end. What an amazing fight with an amazing character in an amazing game. And let's hope the sequel on the 3DS is also amazing.
Minecraft was a game that literally never ended. Do whatever you want, they said. It will be fun, they said. And fun it was. But fast forward to late 2011, and Minecraft now has an official ending along with the final boss. I would say that the Ender Dragon was an idea well worth thinking, as it was a huge step for Mojang. You fight this beast in the End Dimension, the final world of the game, and that's already a challenge to get to in itself. But once you get to the actual fight, it's a battle to the death. You have Endermen roaming the grounds, trying to attack you Slender style, the Ender Dragon swooping in on you, and until you destroy all the beacons on the pillars, the dragon can regenerate its own health. It may be a simple idea, but seriously, when you're fighting alone or in co-op, you're gonna have a lot of fun while tearing this beast to shreds.
Bosses. If done right, they can be really awesome to fight. Bosses also test your skills to make sure that you know everything and how to play the game, so you're not falling behind. Before I start this, let me just say that this could contain spoilers if you haven't fought the boss already. So be warned, and don't say I didn't tell you. But anyways, now with that gone, let's get into the world of... It was really hard to choose which boss from this game, since it has a lot that are really awesome. I could have picked Phantom and Griffin. As awesome as they are, I just had to pick the one and only mighty boss of this game, and his name is Nello Angelo. Now, since you fight this guy 3 times, I picked the third fight, simply because it just stands out. It's so epic. In the beginning of this fight, you see Nello Angelo standing in the front of the room, behind a window. As Dante walks up, he comments on Nello Angelo, saying that he has a lot of guts, but sadly he works for Mundus, which makes him a bad man. Nello Angelo gets mad, and then removes his mask. As he removes his mask, power surges from him, showing that he's powering up, and ready to fight a good fight with Dante. When he takes off his mask, you see his face, with red eyes. He walks towards Dante, and you begin the fight. Now, the one thing I loved about this fight that truly made it stood out was that it was more challenging than the others. He had a lot more attacks that did a ton of damage, and his sword did a lot of damage too. The first attack I noticed that was different was a power surge that he would shoot at you. Now, the second attack that I noticed that was really different was when he would fly in the air and shoot energy blades at you. This attack was kinda hard to dodge in the beginning, but after the fight I was able to manage it. It was tricky, but still fun. The song to this battle was also very good and well composed. It had a lot of energy and made you want to fight even more. I love it so much, and it's still one of my favorite video game songs to this day. Nello Angelo, thank you for being such a great boss. I salute you.
Punch-Out for the Wii is not your average boxing game. Nintendo literally went all out with every single fighter, with attacks, cultures, and stereotyping. And then there's Aaron Ryan. This guy represents Ireland, and that's basically evident in the green shorts, his theme music, and the number 7 shown basically everywhere. Aaron Ryan recovers on the count of 7, he has 7 teeth showing in his smile, he gets KO'd after 7-star punches, and every single one of his stats are related to the number 7. His height is 6.1 feet, and 6 plus 1 equals 7. His KO count is 16, and 1 plus 6 equals 7. But wait, are we talking about boss fights, or are we in math class?
Nobody said there'd be math!
Also, Aaron Ryan is a sadomasochist, so he enjoys dealing damage to himself and others. In Title Defense, he even tries to cheat by bringing in a weapon and flinging himself off the edge of the ring. Even when he gets knocked out, he tries to sneak in damage by flailing his weapon around as he falls. He doesn't even train for Title Defense, he's just ready to get back into the ring and beat the crap out of Little Mac. But he fails anyways. Kefka, the clown who ended the world by only shifting 3 statues. The clown who trolls and promotes his own psychotic actions. As the final boss, he becomes dancing mad with power. See what I did there? He has 4 spectacular phases, and all of them are challenging and strangely symbolic. And as you fight them all, the music playing in the background as you battle is freaking mind-blowing. It's a frantic, insanely composed, yet intimidating theme, perfect for the personality traits of Kefka himself. Now let's talk about the phases. The first phase is his destructive side, and heck, does it look like it's going to break something? Probably its own mind. Fittingly, that transitions onto its second phase, which represents his insanity. You can tell that from the unusual design of the phase. The third phase introduces his god complex, the introduction to a truly intimidating segment. And the final phase is the most well-known and famous. You're literally fighting a god at this point, and the vibrant yellow background suits that concept. Kefka spouts out iconic phrases about life and dreams and hope, and how he'll destroy them all. And you can't let that happen. You need to pwn him so bad that it disintegrates into pure satisfaction. And don't think that I'm making this sound easy. This is no merciful fight. Definitely no time for clowning around.
Alright, look here. I've already got a project coming away and discussing about my top 10 favorite boss battles, so for the record, I will not be talking about any of the bosses on that list. So instead, I'll just be talking about a boss that didn't make the cut, but still came close. Let's see it. Alright, you. Let's go! The fight with Bowser Jr. in Super Mario Galaxy truly deserves the title of boss battle. Bowser Jr. is so desperate on trying to prevent you from interfering with Bowser's plans, and he won't stop until you're his. Now for the battle itself. Unfortunately for Bowser Jr. haters, you don't get to fight him head on. Instead, you'll pwn him with Koopa shells. Oh yeah. However, Jr. won't let you win so easily. The entire time he's firing cannon shots and bullet bills, and can also summon Kamex all over the place. God dang! There is crap flying everywhere! Once you hit him with 3 Koopa shells, he points the front cannon at point blank range and starts firing fireballs at you, in which you have to avoid all of them. Once you've hit him 2 more times with Koopa shells, he is defeated. Overall, while this boss isn't really that hard, it surely provides a great entertainment factor. And the music. Awesome!
Alex Mercer had a really disappointing fight in Prototype 2. So before that, in the original Prototype, we had the fight with Elizabeth Green. The entire concept was as unpredictable as Elizabeth herself. She turns from a psychomaniacal human being to a giant tumor that shoots out kidney stones and grows a squidgy spine. It is extremely disturbing, but you get to tear down buildings and streets in the process, while launching yourself up into the sky. And easily my favorite move in the Prototype series is to jump. Remember top 15 disturbing bosses? Gygus is one of those bosses. A boss that's so memorable yet just damn scary. The area where you meet up with Gygus is easily represented as a woman's birth canal. If you outline part of Gygus' second form, you'll notice that it looks like a fetus. Yeah, that. Not only am I always disturbed by the ideas portrayed by Gygus, but as a plot point in the story and as a battle, this is one of the best bosses in RPG history. I remember you, Virtual Boy. Gygus is at first fought with Porky as he spits insults at you, and from experience, dealing with him first is crucial because 1. He has 2 powerful attacks, and 2. Porky will stop insulting you faster. So during the next few phases, Gygus' true form is not only revealed, but also unable to be grasped. During the last phase of the battle, Gygus keeps spamming his incomprehensible attacks on your team, while all you can do is keep healing until Paula manages to pray for the party, and this results in other characters praying back, which damages Gygus. Gygus also has a massive load of symbolism apart from the usual abortion theory, which I seem to explain a lot, but as a boss in terms of gameplay, which I seem to have never actually talked about, this is great. It's disturbingly enjoyable, and that's something I wish I could see more of. It's just bound to impress me. Forum Fantasy. I recently just clocked this game fully, and I have to say, it makes me that much more proud to be part of the Chaos Theatre. For those who don't know what Forum Fantasy is, it's a satirical RPG style game based off of the Chaos Theatre forums, with characters and bosses being actual users, like the Autarch of Flame, Joss Scorcher, Quasar, and of course, Camel Slayer. Camel Slayer has been the man behind all of the chaos in the theatre, and after having fought all his different incarnations, his succubus, his associates, and even death itself, you finally meet up with him in the depths of hell, and it's a full-on battle against the Dark Lord himself. It's obvious he has no mercy against you, but unlike the more challenging super bosses like the God of Chaos or Felix Valora, it's a relatively fair fight. His attacks are powerful, but you can at least endure them for long enough that you can beat him. But what cements Camel Slayer onto this list is how you approach this battle. Before the fight, you can either choose to use the drunk Metroid you found earlier, or to kill it before it turns against you. This decision determines how the fight will play out. If you use the Metroid, you take the easy path through the fight, and the Metroid freaks Camel Slayer out so much that he begins killing himself in order to kill the Metroid. This results, however, in an extra boss where Camel Slayer and the Metroid fuse together and become
the Metroid Lord.
I don't get it either. If you decide not to use the Metroid though, you take the challenging yet rewarding path, and instead of the Metroid possessing the opponents, the Ghost of Chaos does. Forming Chaos at Camel Slayer. This fight is difficult as hell, but damn is it worth it at the end, since not only does Camel Slayer recover, but you also return to the elements and fight them all in one go. That is crazy. Or if you want me to make the bad pun, it's crazier.